Hello guys, welcome back to Writer's Tales, The Last Adventurers, number 45. This is Godspeed. We're on the planet Barnock, a peaceful human colony planet, of course, and just, very peaceful, very sort of lush goodwill and everything else, like it's one of those peaceful planets that you've known about, that you've grown to love, really. So the civilization has a visitor arrived, in the form of the one and only Jesus Christ. Most people take to him instantly, like we finally got our saviour, finally, and it's like, think it's the best thing ever. He's going to help us, help more land, help make society more better, really, more free kind of a bit more up the ante, really. But there are some people, of course. There's half the civilization think he's fake, a false god, really, and they're sort of divided. They are. Is he real, or is it just some bloke in a beard and long hair and white robes just pretending to be the saviour, just winning people over with his charm and just willfulness, really. The protagonists come along as well. Actually, they sort of arrive during the midst of it. Actually, and I just think, oh, is he wonderful? This guy, this man, our saviour, our man, who is going to help us, to and fro. And they sort of look at him and think, we don't know, really. It's like, their version of, God is quite, we don't even know, actually, in theirs. Do they have a God? Do people, is God a thing in their universes? It's all play the question, do we have a God? We don't know, really. It's all tilted around that question, you must have a God at some point, it's like you must... Well, no. Well, we don't know, actually. This all skim everything, and this all leaves it a different conversation, different subject, really, in that regard. In actual fact, and this is obvious thing, this is obvious trope. You think, oh, one thing, of course, this whole thing is like, it has to be aliens, In actual fact, it is, of course. There's a guy named Obstedt. Obstedt is a soul-sucking alien who takes the form of Christ just to win people over and just to suck their souls, really. He apparently hops around every single planet. He just pretends to be a god or type of figure in that sort of society, really. If it's just a human colony, that'll be just like, same thing. He said, I've been doing this for years, hundreds, thousands of years, and I'm still living, He's basically still the source to bring more life into him, really. Like he's just like carrying on, type of thing. Again, like, picking up energy all the time, like he's an energy sucker, and it stills life force and leaves like grey-skinned, skeletal like corpses around, really, and people believe that he's the actual God, and this belief, and you think you're wrong, absolutely wrong. God is here, and other people just believe, and fights break out saying it's a false God, Well, they are wary, of course. I think when the protagonists come over, they're sort of wary. It's like, do we believe this guy? Well, we don't really, to be honest. They sort of don't. They think, what's so special about him? What's so special about a man in white robes, long hair, beard, who says he's the son of God? We don't know. And they sort of just think, he's winning half the colonist over. And it's like, it's something's fishy. Something's up. And they sort of head on to it, and find out what he's really doing. Even seeing him suck soul out of a poor woman, and think, yep, he's definitely alien. He's definitely not. He's a phony, and that sort of thing. So obviously he tries. I think the main thing is he tries to get banished, but I think also people stop believing him, of course, and that can sort of stun him, actually. If people stop believing him, like rally people against him and stop believing him, he's obviously, a bit powerless, really. Like he's stunned. He's like unstable. He's like it's not. He can't really move forward in a bit more, actually, unfortunately. But we'll get there. He'll eventually pick up again, but untimely he will start to fall. He will. But there we go. That's how he does, really. But I think he does eventually get killed, of course. Not because of energy overload, but also the belief as well. It sort of dwindles him down. It does, really. Right, backstory with this one. So this is part of the 10-part story arc involving the Doctor trapped in the 1990s. Obviously, I talked about it with Britain 89 AD, Root of Evil is another one. The 8th generation as well had its origins as well from there. Same with this one. So this was originally called Second Coming, and this was maybe set in 1991. This, of course. So you have part 1, which is Root of Evil. Part 2 is Second Coming. Of course, also Pipeline as well. That's part 4. That is. Of course, that's 993 as well. Forgot about that. Yeah. So we're tying into bits and pieces, of course. Second Coming is basically the same story, but set on our planet, really, because originally it was set in the UK in 1991. Again, same thing. Soul sucking alien pretends to be Jesus Christ. That's the whole thing. I've always liked the idea of, like, tackling what people believe or not. Like, you think, do people actually believe God? Do people believe a long-haired bearded man in white robes is the person, really? Like, do you count him do you think he's a god? It's just what people believe, really. There's also other influences as well, including that Catacombs film. If you've ever seen that film about that Jesus, there's a scene, of course. I mean, people only think it's the highlight of the movie, actually, when this Jesus statue comes to life and he impales the priest with a, what do you call, like a nail in his neck or shoulder, whatever. It's like, it's a bit strange, actually. So that's all playing to my mind as well. So, but it's an interesting take, really. It's an old story I've had for a bit as well. But there you go. I changed it to Godspeed. I think it still works, actually, the title, of course. Second Coming is so relevant, but I think Godspeed as a one-word title would probably be alright, actually. Second Coming, if you include it in there, you'll probably think it might be a bit too obvious, really, in a way. But there we go. So that's the origins for that one. Nothing else really to say with Godspeed, really. It's just there, just once on a planet, someone to present with Jesus Christ. That's about it, really. Right, thank you guys for watching. As always, see you for the next video, and I'll see you later.